What's going on, everyone? My name is Samuel Richardson, and welcome to the Affirmative Talk Show. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley. If you know who Teddy Riley is, Teddy Riley was a former member of the Black Street Crew. It was a men's group. How many of y'all know and remember the Black Street Crew? Give me 1 second. So he went on the Red Table Talk and with Jada Pinkett Smith, her daughter Willow, and her mother. And he was on the show and he was talking about his children. And there were a couple of things that stood out to me on this actual topic of conversation. And I wanted to take a little bit of your time to share it with you. And, we're going to just get right into it, shall we? So Teddy Riley shares why he hasn't been able to see his youngest son, who is on the Red Table Talk, on the latest episode. Now, this actual episode was relating to parental alienation. And it's when a parent viciously turns their child against the other parent. And it's something that Teddy Riley has experienced. And with that, he talks about how it was difficult dealing with the mother of his youngest son, Michael. And he talks about it on the Instagram post when he actually posted about his son's birthday back in July. And he said on this episode that this is probably one of the saddest days of my life on that post that he made. And he said, it's my baby son's birthday today, and I haven't seen him in 3 years plus. 3 years plus. And that is sad. It's egregious. And let me just repeat it. He said, again, this is probably one of the saddest days of my life, and it's my baby son's birthday today, and I haven't seen him in 3 years plus. And I want to just say that it's a shame and it's sad when you have two parents that's involved, right? And things didn't work out, that's fine. It happens in relationships. But the thing that should stay consistent is that both parents should be able to co-parent well enough so that way they can have equal time with their child. Now, I'm not a believer in leaving up to the court system per se to say that the father should not have as much rights to the child as much as the mother. Now, there are going to be some people that's going to disagree with me on this, but at the end of the day, I don't damn care. And what I'm saying is that if we are adult enough to lay down and have unprotected relations, and we produce a child, then we should be adult enough to be able to raise that child together as one unit. So he went on to say in this actual episode that I've done everything that I'm supposed to do as a father financially and mentally, but because this woman have processed evil way, I have to deal with the corrupted government ATL system just to see my son, but that will all change. And he said, thank God I'm an American national citizen, and my day will come to be with my son for the rest of his life and mine. I'm being patient for that day, and when it comes, I shall celebrate because he deserves to live a great life as a prince of a king. Now, as he was speaking to the ladies on the Red Table Talk, he went on to explain that the reason why he hasn't been able to see his son in all that time is because his mom's goal is to keep him away from him. He then went on to say that while he shares a bond with all his sons, the bond he shared with Michael was very special. Now, later in that episode, he went on to explain that in addition to being cut off from his son, his siblings also aren't allowed to contact with him, which makes things very difficult and makes them feel like a piece of their family is missing. Now, he went on to say that she doesn't want him to be a part of any of our lives. When I talked to a friend of hers, she said, you really need to try and see your son because his mom is not really handling him right. And she's really trying to keep him away from you. And you probably need to do something about it. And this is what Teddy Riley said. Now, as you can see right here, I'm not going to play the video, but if you want to be able to hear more in-depth information, you're more than welcome to jump on the Red Table Talk that's on Facebook Watch, and you can be able to watch this specific episode. And it's about parental alienation and when your child is turned against you. I don't like when you have children turn them against their parent, their actual, the mother or the father, whoever's involved. I think it's egregious. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's not right. And there is something that should be done about that. Now, despite his struggles, Riley shared that he's currently pursuing custody of his son and set up a trust for him to ensure he'll be taken care of. He went on to say at some point, something got to give, and I'm just waiting for that point. Let me just tell you this, man. I think it's something to be said when you have a parent that refuses to give you the rights that you deserve with your child. And let me tell you something, you have to be a miserable parent for you to go all out your way to keep your child away from the other parent. Just think about it. How miserable you have to be if you go leaps and bounds to keep a child away from the other parent, especially if you have a parent that wants to be involved in that child's life, and that parent has the audacity to say, I'm going to alienate you away from your father. And this is something that I know is two sides to every story. So I have to make sure that I say that, this is alleged because this is coming from his side. I haven't heard from the mother side, but what I will tell you is that this is real. And there are fathers out here that are facing the same similar situation because you have a bitter baby mama that doesn't want to get off their high horse and have so much pride, and that's evil, vindictive, condescending, very misleading, and they will create any type of chaos and spread that poison and that venom to the child to try to do everything in their power to turn that child against the father. So I just want to say kudos to Teddy Riley, man. Much prayers with you in this situation. And the lesson learned in this situation is that we have to be so very careful who we lay down with and decide to have a child with. We have to be so very careful. You have to learn the tendencies of that partner. Does that partner, when they get mad, do they do evil things? Do they do things that is malicious? Do they have vengeance in their heart? Do they have this type of mentality is that I'm gonna get you back at every chance I get? And if you start seeing those things early in the relationship, then you need to reevaluate, do you want to continue in this type of mess? Because at the end of the day, when you add a child into that equation, it's a mess up situations. And I'm just saying, man, just be careful who you lay down with. Be careful who you decide to have a child with. Make sure you continue to have protected relations until you are very sure that the person that you're having unprotected relations with is going to be the person who's going to be the mother of your child and is going to make sure that you have all access to your child. at the end of the day, man, just pray for him, man. I just pray for him just to make sure that he's able to continue to stay involved if he can. And just kudos to him to being able to share his side of the story on Red Table Talk, because at the end of the day, I know that there are a lot of men out here who are facing similar circumstances. So this is Samuel Richardson III from the Affirmative Talk Show. Y'all take care, and always, and I mean always, be blessed.